Oh, my goodness, it is cold out there. Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your weekend nerddom coming from you from a car studio. Movies edition for the week of February 19th, 2018. Pardon the noise as we hit into that intro.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Okay, so technical issues have forced us to do a couple of things. One, we're in car studio again. I'm sure you noticed. Two, we're flip-flopping TV and movies because I am running low on battery and I gotta get another video filmed. And movies is a fair amount shorter than TV this week, so we're going with movies. This week's Movies Edition is brought to you by teespring.com/stores/generallynerdy, where you can get this wonderful shirt right here, the advertiser-friendly shirt. It's the shirt that says, I don't do this for the advertisers, I do this for your mom. This week in movies, we've got some trailers to discuss, and we've got some news to discuss as well. First, we're going to start with the regular news, and then we'll end with the trailers. It seems to be simpler that way. First thing, regular news is Venom. We got a quasi-confirmation that Carnage will not be in the movie proper, but will be in the post-credit scene. We got confirmation, quasi-confirmation through production stills and stuff. But this week, that hashtag show is claiming they have a source that says Carnage is going to be in the post-credit scene, but not in the movie, which also kind of implies that whatever they shot with Spider-Man or Peter Parker, whichever version of that character exists in this movie, because we know that Tom Holland was seen on set, so he's going to be in it to some capacity. Whatever that capacity is, it's not going to be a post-credit scene cameo like a lot of us nerds were thinking. So, that being said, well, I don't know how else they could do that if they're not allowing Spider-Man to factor into the major points of this plot. Then they're doing something wrong, is kind of my feeling. But I don't know. I don't know what else they could do. So let's talk about that in the comments section, because I want to get your input where you think they're going with the Spider-Man cameo. Next bit, though, we're talking about J Abrams, who is set to direct Episode 9. We all know this. He was the director for Episode 7. And he has some things to say about the fan backlash for Episode 8. And it's really disheartening because he's a nerd and he's reacting against the nerd community in such a horribly stereotyped, inaccurate way. So his thoughts on why there was such a negative backlash for Episode 8 is because the fans are, quote, threatened by women, unquote. Because there's no Star Wars fans who are women, A, and there's no women who are upset about the Last Jedi movie, B. So that doesn't equate. That doesn't make any kind of sense. The split is fairly close to 60-40. 60% I feel like are in favor of the movie, 40% being against the movie, and that's a fairly significant split. Some might even argue it's 50-50 split, but I don't think it was quite that dramatic. Still dramatic, don't get me wrong. But his response to it is so ill-informed, because I love the movie. I think the movie was great, but there are legitimate arguments about the quality of the movie. There is, it doesn't make sense that he would react as such, unless he's just so far removed from nerd culture at this point that he doesn't know that girls like Star Wars, and girls like quality movies, and girls don't like gaping plot holes that could be easily fixed by a logical explanation. So yeah, just not a great reaction. Granted, I will give you that the recent revelation of a defeminized cut of the movie, someone took the movie and cut out all of the feminist parts and made the movie about 40 minutes and took all of the dialogue away from Rose and demasculated Captain Phasma, or took away a lot of power from Phasma. Not that she had all that much power to begin with. I haven't seen the defeminized version of the movie, but I don't know. I just don't... That doesn't help the argument, but the argument still stands. The argument still holds water that there are females who watch Star Wars, and there are plenty of those females who like Star Wars who didn't like this movie. So the negative backlash has nothing to do with the gender of the characters and has everything to do with the gaping plot holes. Again, I am a fan of the movie, so you can't... I'm not talking badly necessarily about the movie. But next on our list is Ready Player One. There's a link down in the description if you want to watch the new Ready Player One trailer. It's definitely reason to be excited because we are getting so much closer to the launch of this movie. With this trailer though, and I felt like I saw it in the previous trailer as well, but it was less noticeable. In this trailer, it's very evident that there's reason for concern. Now, before I go into my reason for concern, let's make one thing clear. I think that there are very few hands in Hollywood that are capable of making this movie to the degree which it deserves to be made. And even fewer hands that are more capable than Steven Spielberg, who is making this movie. So, that being said, I have one bit of trepidation based on this new trailer, and it's the fact that people are wearing their Oasis headgear and walking around the streets. That's not how that works. Throughout the book, the Oasis headgear is stationary. The Oasis system is stationary. Whenever you plug into your Oasis console, you are set in whatever room you're in while plugged into your Oasis console. There's a major plot point at the beginning of the book that revolves around this fact. If your Oasis console is a mobile device, then they couldn't have tried to kill Wade because there was no guarantee that he would be where he was assumed to have been when they went to kill him. Like, that's a whole thing. So, I don't know. You'll see it when you watch the trailer. There is a point where people are walking up the street. There's it looks like a group of kids walking up the street together wearing their consoles. So it has me a little concerned, I'm not gonna lie. I still think the movie's gonna be good. I'm just maybe not as good as I once thought it was. So yeah, definitely watch that trailer, get back to me, we'll talk about it in the comments section down below. Next up, we got the new trailer for Pacific Rim, Uprising. We get to see that epic kaiju, the giant kaiju that they were talking about in previous trailers. We get to see a good amount of him, and the Jaegers are fighting the kaiju, so that's pretty epic. This trailer kind of has the opposite effect on me as that Ready Player One trailer, in that I am more excited now for this movie than Ready Player One. I am slightly less excited. I'm willing to give this movie a bigger shot now that I have seen this new trailer. So that's worth saying something. Link in the description. so that you can watch the trailer yourself. And then our last bit of movie news has to do with The Incredibles. Incredibles 2, if you've been watching the Olympics, you've seen the new trailer because they played it quite a few times. I'm stoked. It looks to me like they got the... Pardon me while I do crazy things in my car. It looks to me like they got the sense of humor from the first movie and kind of distilled it down and then amplified it. So it looks like it's along the right track of what a sequel should be. I mean, Incredibles is already one of the best Pixar movies, and it's easily the best Fantastic Four movie, but it looks like Incredibles 2 is going to one-up the first movie, which is a rare thing to do with a sequel, with a second in a potential trilogy even. So yeah, definitely click that link in the description, watch the trailer, come back, let's talk about it in the comments section. But that is where we're ending this week's movies episode. What did I miss, guys? What should we talk about next week? Let me know in the comments down low. If you want to go deeper into this conversation, then jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. You can get all the freebies, you can get all the social media links, everything is up on the website. So check out the website, generallynerdy.net. You can go even deeper in the conversation, become a contributor by jumping over to the Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. We've covered that in videos, we're going to keep going. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button. If you like this episode, please click that like button. If you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box right there to the left of my face. But before you go, before you leave, please always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.